We have seen how to add, subtract, multiply complex numbers. And now that we have figured out what a complex conjugate is, we can now use that information to divide complex numbers. If we take a plus bi and divide it by c plus di, this is the process that we take. We multiply the denominator by c minus di, which is the complex conjugate of c plus di. And since we're multiplying the denominator by that, we must also multiply the numerator. And through that process, we eventually get all the way down here. Now, this is not something that we memorize. All we are doing is we're pretending that I is a radical. And by pretending that I is a radical, like the square root of -1, we are rationalizing that denominator, if you remember that technique from your algebra class. So, don't memorize all of this. Just rationalize the denominator. Multiply the denominator by its complex conjugate. So we'll always multiply by c minus di, and then do the same thing in the numerator. So, if we have 5 plus 7i, divide by 1 minus 2i, how do we divide those two? We multiply by the conjugate of the denominator. So we multiply the denominator by 1 plus 2i, and then we do likewise to the numerator. So 1 plus 2i in the numerator. And then we can FOIL the numerator. So we have first, outside, inside, forgot my I, 10i, inside would be 7i, and last would be 14i squared. The denominator, we can FOIL that, or we can remember that it will be the real part squared plus the imaginary part squared. So we have 5 plus 17i plus 14i squared will be 14 times -1 all over 5. So this is 5 plus 17i minus 14 all over 5. 5 minus 14 is -9. So we have -9 plus 17i. That's all over 5. Now, keep in mind that we have to write our answer in standard form. So we need to see real part and an imaginary part separated. Right now, this is not in standard form. So let's break that fraction up. We have -9 over 5 plus 17 over 5i.